But that's the thing. Like, they leave the ending, the very ending, ambiguous because he got the daughter looking up at the sky, but we all know he's not a superhero and he jumped out the freaking window. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, Michael Keaton, stop bumming us out.
hmm But it's like it's the Michael Keaton Renaissance. So we'll see. They keep he's
He was
getting. I was
great.
like, I always absolutely like. I was like, I haven't seen a movie yet where I didn't like him as a character in it. To see him like come back after a while. Like I remember seeing him in the other guys,
I was just thinking that
and
movie. He was great in that movie.
absolutely like just play it as straight as possible. And it's like, do you know you're now spitting TLC lyrics? Like, come on. It's like, what are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
And then even going back to 1989 Batman, that the improv scene where he's Bruce Wayne in Vicky Vale's apartment, and he goes like line from like, so you would get nuts? Let's get nuts. Like that line is completely improvised. That is absolutely Michael Keaton all the way. And
Being
then,
all bonkers.
what's his name? Shoots him. Yeah, absolutely. Just going ham on that role, just chewing scenery. It's like, yeah, let's do this.
He was the weirdest choice for Batman. Looking back, he was so short and so not imposing.
That's just, absolutely. But at the same time, like it makes sense in Tim Burton's universe. Like if you were to like crawl in his head, even his choice of Nicolas Cage as Superman,
So weird.
that's a manly version of Tim Burton. That's what happened there.
But I also think that in a strange way, it is the perfect uh, Superman because
Nick Cage.
yeah, be, not Nick Cage himself, but that type of person. Um, because Superman doesn't necessarily have to be muscular. He could just be, you know, a guy. He grew up on a farm, sure, and you can get the whole he's a he's a farmhand, so he should be muscular. But there are farmhands who are not. You know, there
hmm
are guys who go out there every day and do that farm work, and they're just guys. You know,
hmm
skinny guys. He could be that. It does his strength doesn't come from his muscles. It comes from the sun, and it comes from his physiology. So he could be this skinny, unassuming guy and still lift the building. So,
hmm
but what we picture Superman is, this heavenly pinnacle of non-man. So
Henry Cavill. Like that's the person you want to see. Then you have the guy that's on the Supergirl show. Like I think he's like 5'9", like it's like 5'9".
he
Like
is
he's a
he's barely cresting over Supergirl, barely.
yes. And they have him in heels. They have him in lifts for it's like Robert Downey Jr. He's like you look at him, he's not imposing, but like when you think Superman, like the Superman that you just described to me is him, but it all comes down to like how he holds himself like outside of the Clark Kent persona. Who did the best? Like Frank Whiteley when he did the Superman All Star series, one of my favorite Superman stories ever told. And when Frank Whiteley drew Superman was completely different from when he drew Clark Kent. It's like Superman was this big, barrel-chested, chest out, standing up tall the entire time. And as soon as he switched personas, Frank Whiteley like made sure to have him hunch over a little bit, have his gut kind of punch out a little bit, and like had that demeanor. Like the demeanor changed,
Mm-hmm.
from character to character, and like that's what it made total sense. If you want like to be that super that super duper nerd and like, how do people not know Superman? He's wearing glasses. Like, oh well, Clark Kent. He just did a really good job of changing personas to have people not think twice. Like just changing your stature and how people view you in general, like physically view you can say a lot as to you know figuring out who you are.
It lends
Because
a lot of credence to what's his name, Quentin Tarantino's whole spiel about Superman in what was that movie, Kill Bill, the third one, the second one. It
hmm
was just like, yeah, Superman puts on the glasses and acts like this nebbish weirdo because that's how he views humans.
hmm
And it works the other way around. So humans will view Superman to like, oh, he's this godlike character, and when he puts on the glasses, like, well, that guy's just a regular dude. So they can't attach superpowers to a human. They're just like, well, that guy's from another planet. That's
Yeah.
why they it's almost like they refuse to believe that Clark is Superman because they think he's a human because he acts like a
Yeah.
some bumbling idiot.
Yeah. It's like absolutely. It's like I mean that's where it seems.
Hello, my friends. This is your friendly neighborhood Super Black, and I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for listening and supporting the podcast. How can you support the podcast more? I'm glad you asked. Head on over to iTunes and rate us 5 stars. Leave us a comment. We'd really appreciate it. If you have anything you would like us to talk about, a character you'd like covered, a movie you'd like dissected, a video game you'd like reviewed, head on over to Twitter at SuperBlackSays. Leave us a message. Hashtag Superblack. We'll get right back to you. It's that easy. Support is great. Participation is better. We'd love to hear from all of you. So thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show. Black Lightning was created by writer and artist Tony Isabella. Thank God for that, because had Tony not pitched Black Lightning, we would have been treated to a gem of a character by the name the Black Bomber. Now, all successful superheroes need a hook, something to captivate the audience, you know? Now, what was Black Bomber's hook, you ask? Well, he was a racist white man who would transform into a black metahuman whenever he got all stressed out and flustered. Perhaps at the thought of his daughters dating, quote unquote, one of those guys. These are jokes. The Black Bomber, however, was not a joke, and was on track to become DC's first headlining black superhero, which is not good for anybody. Luckily for everyone in the human race, that weird bullet was dodged once Tony, maybe try a different direction, Isabella, walked in the door, slammed a drawing of Black Lightning on the metaphorical table, and shouted, "This is your guy." And thankfully, everybody agreed. Now, Black Lightning never really took off as a main player in the DC Super People verse. Playing bit parts here and there in the Justice League, he was a member of Batman's Outsiders group, and in the New 52 Comics reboot, he teamed with the giant Blue Devil, aptly named Blue Devil. The original incarnation of Black Lightning, aka Mr. Jefferson Pierce, was an average Joe with an everyday belt. A belt that just so happened to allow Jeff to project force fields and fire electrical bolts. Later on in the DC timeline, during the Year 1 reboot, he was revealed to have the metagene, allowing him to generate bioelectrical fields from within, sans pants accessories. Now, on a more personal note, Jefferson has a wonderful failed marriage and 2 superpowered daughters, Anissa and Jennifer, Thunder and Lightning, respectively. Everybody also seems to think that he's Static Shock's father because he's black and shoots lightning. He's not. Let it go. Now, you have some context on Mr. B. Lightning Esquire. Sit back and enjoy as Daniel and I concept the worst idea, or the best idea, for the new Black Lightning TV show, coming to CW sooner than anyone actually wanted. If they make something interesting, I'd be impressed, you know? Like, I'd love that. Like, do something with this character that's different.
Yeah.
Like, maybe his lightning powers kill him a little bit every time he he uses them. That's free, guys. Think about that. He can't even use his powers. He's just like, I gotta use this. I gotta use it now. I'm gonna die a little bit. I can't believe it. Lightning. My heart.
How would you do that?
I don't know. My heart.
Like, is the powers attached to like a pacemaker that went horribly wrong?
So he's
and
Tony
that's why he
Stark.
dies a little bit.
All right, let's figure this out. All right.
Okay, all right, cool.
This will end off the Black Lightning conversation. Let's see if we can fix Black Lightning to be some sympathetic, interesting character. We can't give him a pacemaker because Tony Stark has a pacemaker, ish. But I do like the idea of his powers killing him a little bit. Or here we go. We steal a little bit from Shazam. When he has to use his powers, he has to call down lightning. So it actually has to strike him so that he can use it. And that whittles away at his life a little bit every time.
So essentially, he would have to have a lightning rod grounded in him somewhere.
No, man, he is the lightning rod. That's his metahuman ability. He can attract lightning.
So is he a black burn victim, like Spawn?
I don't think so. We could totally do. Maybe. All right, here we go. He's a white guy that's been struck by lightning, and now he's just black. He's just burned.
It's like, oh no, let's bring this back around. He's a racist that got struck by lightning one day,
and he turned black.
Turned black.
Oh shit. CW.
And forgetting about dying a little bit every time he uses his powers. He wants to kill himself because he's not a black man.
Oh,
and he has to live with that. He has to find a way to live with that every single time. Like he saves somebody as a black man, he has to live with the fact that he's making the race he hates look a little better every single day.
Can we have a line in the show where he saves some white lady and she calls him the N-word? And just really dig the nail into the racist angle.
Oh man,
where he's just like, oh, that really did hurt me. Like, now you know how it feels, and there's layers. Oh my God, this is becoming a good show. Why aren't we writing this down?
Oh man,
that would be amazing.
I hope we're the only ones not laughing at this right now.
There's offended people. Someone's laughing.
Yeah.
If we find it funny, someone else does too. I'm dropping.
Like it would have. Yeah, it's a great way to bring it back around. Like we're playing with his actual origins, like that weird origin, and actually having it make sense. It's like it has that air of not My Secret Identity.
Greatest American Hero.
Yes. Have that tongue-in-cheek type of we know what's happening. We know he's a superhero, but he's not very good at it, and he hates being it on top of that as well.
I like it, man. I think that if all right, CW, sell this idea to HBO because you can't do it. All right, you can't do this idea. Sell it to HBO. Give them 6 episodes. Make it super tongue-in-cheek. Ooh, that motorcycle was big. Make it super tongue-in-cheek. Base it in the time.
I mean, it's like he can come from down south, right, and move to the big city because he's chased out of his town from the racist town, and move up to New York City or a big town, Atlanta or something like that, and do his superheroing there, and still be in that urban lifestyle and still be made fun of, and still encounter everyday racism, things we just kind of shake our head at. I'm like, okay, it is the way it is. But him realizing, it's oh no, that's kind of messed up. What's happening now? Walking into a bodega and being followed around the entire time because I think I'm going to steal something.
Yeah, and this would totally have to be tongue in cheek because you can't turn a white person into a black person by having them struck by lightning. I just want to make that clear to people. That's not how race works, but it is a superhero story. And it's super funny. Oh my God. Just the idea of him looking down like, what?
Having his head almost explode from what's going on.
Oh my God. All right. I don't think we can get any better than that. I'm going to stop there.
All right, cool. I'm okay with that.
Oh man, that was great.